Okay, we're going live now with the origins of life, a black hole at the heart of biology. And right now we're talking about The Vital Question, the book by Nick Lane, Energy, Evolution, and the Origins of Complex Life. Please feel free to jump in and join the discussion in the chat. Let's see. Let me get the chat up so I can see it. Join the discussion in the chat. Okay, so Nick Lane says to explain the mystery of how life evolved on Earth, he explores the deep link between energy and genes. The Earth teems with life in its oceans, forests, skies, and cities. Yet there's a black hole at the heart of biology. We do not know why complex life is the way it is, or, for that matter, how life first began. In The Vital Question, award winning author and biochemist Nick Lane radically reframes evolutionary history, putting forward a solution to conundrums that have puzzled generations of scientists. Okay, let me see. Let me get this out here that I'm talking about this. Tweet. See what it says. Okay, showed up. Alrighty. Let's see. 2 watching now. That's great. Okay, so let me get. All right. For 2.5 billion years, from the very origins of life, single-celled organisms such as bacteria evolved without changing their basic form. Then, on just one occasion in 4 billion years, they made the jump to complexity. All complex life, from mushrooms to man, shares puzzling features such as sex, which are unknown in bacteria. How and why this radical transformation happened? How and why did this radical transformation happen? Well, you have to read the book if you want to find out, people. Okay, so I'm hoping we got the volume, the audio working this time on my live stream. I did some tests beforehand, and everything seemed pretty good. Now let me get back to this exciting. The answer, Lane argues, lies in energy. All life on Earth lives off a voltage with the strength of a lightning bolt. Building on the pillars of evolutionary theory, Lane's hypothesis draws on cutting-edge research into the link between energy and cell biology in order to deliver a compelling account of evolution from the very origins of life to the emergence of multicellular organisms, while offering deep insights into our own lives and deaths. Both rigorous and enchanting, The Vital Question provides a solution to life's vital question: why are we as we are? And indeed, why are we here at all? So, first, for us to have this conversation, we have to agree on what life is. What life is, what life isn't, what is alive, what is not alive, and everything in between and outside of that. But the one thing we do not know is the origins of life from a chemical process changing to a biological process, from non life to life. And we do not yet know where complex life originated. We have an idea when we think it happened. And Nick Lane argues that most people who are looking into the origin of life agree that there's a LUCA, last universal common ancestor. Nick Lane argues that there's a LUCA, last universal common eukaryote. Eukaryote, that's for the complex life, complex cells. And he argues that bacteria, prokaryotes, bacteria and archaea, are morphologically very similar, and after 4 billion years have not progressed morphologically like eukaryotes have. We went from single cell, like bacteria, to multi-cell, to things like trees and whales and fungus and fish and elephants. Anyway, that's too serious. So, anyone out there want to discuss anything else other than black holes at the heart of biology? We'll get this thing rolling here. Ask me anything. And I'm not a biologist, so I can't answer the great questions of a black hole at the heart of biology. But I'm very interested in it. So, what are we reading about now? We're reading about Lindsay Shepherd, who's proclaimed on her video. It's got several 100,000 views now that she's left the left or something like that. And of course, there's a million videos on her leaving the left. And we also have the YouTube shooter. Well, that one is kind of complex, kind of like at the heart of biology. We have somebody with, what was it, 4 YouTube channels, getting frustrated at being demonetized or being filtered. I think she was arguing YouTube was filtered. And they're filming. Excuse me. Still getting over from being sick. YouTube has demonetized entire channels. Channels, I must say, I've had a channel for about 13 years. I never spent much. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds. There's like 1,000 videos on it, but I didn't promote it or try to get subscribers or, and I was actually making a little bit of money off it, and they demonetized it. And so, like on my video on the subject, I suggested maybe they should start grandfathering in. They should have thought this one through instead of just demonetizing entire channels. If they're worrying about trolls, I think when I'm doing the reading on it, they're like people coming in and being trolls and impersonating people, like somebody's doing to my channel right now. Over 95 of my videos they have uploaded onto their channel, identical to my videos with the same title and description. But anyway, so if you've got somebody that's been around 10, 12, 13 years, maybe they should be grandfathered in, not totally demonetized, completely cut off. Maybe you've got over 1,000 subscribers. Maybe you've got 5. Like this woman had over 5,000. I understand, and but I guess she wasn't. I don't know if they demonetized. That's probably what happened. They demonetized 1 or 2 of her channels. I don't know. I have to do more reading on it. But they didn't really think this one through. They just bang cut a lot of people off. So, what great Nick Lane books have you read lately? Anybody out there have an opinion about the origins of life? Or the origins of complex life? So, what got me interested in the entire thing was that we have this Darwin's dilemma. For a long time, Darwin himself said that there's when we have the Cambrian era and we have complex life, and sometime into the Cambrian era we had the Cambrian. Some people call the era itself the Cambrian explosion. It happened, I believe, like 15 million years into the Cambrian, where there was 15, 20 million years into it, where we had the Cambrian explosion. But we go from single cell life to, according to the fossiliferous record, as he put it, we got single cell life to an explosion of multi-cell life of all kinds of varieties. And so that was Darwin's dilemma. We have the last 50 plus years have discovered the Ediacaran, which tells us about Metazoa, the first complex multi-celled. They're not going as far as calling them animals at this point. A lot of rangomorphs, which are fractal, self-repeating type uh, entities, or whatever they call it. Biota, they call it the Ediacaran biota, because they don't really know how to classify. But so we have a link between single cell life and complex life, and in the Ediacaran. So the Ediacaran is from the ends in the Proterozoic era, eon, whatever it's called, and at the um, 542 million, around there, million years ago, but started about 90 million years before that. So that would be what, like 630 million years ago. We have evidence of sponges as multicellular life, which uh, probably has its roots in colonial, single cell colonial life, which basically, as you know, sponges are a team of single cells that work as a team. And if you were to obliterate it, they would reform as a sponge. And then we have a lot of people believe that what we now call protists, which are single cell eukaryotes, were probably around. There's a little bit of evidence, fossil record for um, tiny life um, is very difficult to find when you get back into billions of years, hundreds of millions and billions of years. So what we call protist now, which is basically the junk drawer for all the things, all the eukaryotic things we couldn't classify, probably were around for a few hundred million years before the Ediacaran. Because between, I believe it's 700 and 900 million years ago, we have evidence for biomineralization. Hard parts. So what do you need, say, for example, a shell for? To protect yourself. Okay. Well, maybe they're protecting themselves from predation. So what were the predators at the time? And the other thing I've been thinking about is, and this connects to the origins of life, is viruses. Most biologists do not consider virus or prions life. And so there's three approaches to what viruses, how they came about. Now it's one is they progressed to their current state, or they or a reductive thing, like a lot of parasitic eukaryotes, um, where they started out more complex, but they devoted um, they devoted energy into being, using other cells to propagate, and lost the ability. Like, for example, all eukaryotic cells have mitochondria, but there's, I don't know, several hundred species of eukaryotic, I guess, single cell organisms that have lost their mitochondria because they're doing different things with it. Some of it parasitic. So anyone want to jump in and contradict me because I'm making big mistakes, you're welcome to. Or if you think you know the origins of life or the origins of complex life, it says say something. Let me see. Say some. Oh, this is so boring. I'm so sorry. But anyway, if this works out, I think I'm good for doing these live streams. So anyway, it was nice talking to you. I'm going. It was nice hanging out and talking about the origin of life and Nick Lane and the black hole at the heart of biology. I'm going to hang up and turn everything off, and then watch it back and see what it sounds like. And, I had some big problems over the last few months getting the settings right so I could live stream. Sorry to bore you with that, but I stopped doing live streams for a while because of that until I got it right, and then I've been sick for several weeks. So anyway, goodbye. Thanks for tuning in. Unless, of course, you have something to say about the origin of life, then I'll hang on for another few minutes. I guess not. Okay. Well, uh, goodbye. Thanks for connecting. How do I turn this off? Dum dum dum. Stop.